where champions are crowned, where legends are made, and dreams come true. This has been a presentation of Fox Sports.
Just seconds away on Fox News Chicago, the only news at 11 o'clock, a breaking story, another shooting in the neighborhood where Northwestern coach Ricky Birdsong was killed. The railway drifter suspected of killing 8 people surrenders to police, and suburban police are saying tonight this landlord put a hidden camera in a tenant's shower.
Interview, ma'am.
Hey, I had 4 more. That is tough. There's no messages.
Nope.
You sure?
Yeah, dude. I've been sitting here all day. How cool. There's even a chicken Caesar salad side.
The inspiration for the new LeSabre didn't just come from a research center or design facility. It also came from your family. Introducing the all-new 2000 LeSabre, re-engineered with more safety features than any other car in its class. The new 2000 LeSabre by Buick.
Not every victory makes the papers. Achieve New Balance.
We will be landing in Las Vegas shortly. Please return.
If anticipation is half the excitement, just wait till you get there. When you're ready, we'll be here. Harris, your biggest nights happen here.
Dear Shell, my name is Roy Betts. Please, don't misunderstand what I'm about to say. Your station in my neighborhood is nice and bright and looks real sharp. It's just that, well, if I could spend a little less time there, it'd be a good thing. I hope you don't take this the wrong way. Wow, I'd say you took it pretty well. Thanks for listening.
Tonight on Fox Chicago, join Corey McFerrin and the Fox News team for expanded post-game coverage live from Boston, immediately following the game on Fox Chicago. Tonight, Tuesday, July 13th, 1999. His months of life on the run are over. The suspected railroad serial killer turns himself in. Police say a landlord hid a very small camera in his female tenant's bathroom. Find out how tiny technology makes video voyeurism possible. It's the busy season for burglars, but you can baffle the bad guys with some simple steps you can take before you take off on vacation. This is Fox News.
Good evening. I'm Walter Jacobson.
And I'm Robin Robinson. And first on Fox tonight, a breaking story. A shooting during an apparent home invasion in north suburban Skokie. It happened in the 9300 block of North Ridgeway. That's just a block away from the place where former Northwestern basketball coach Ricky Birdsong was shot. Our Jack Conity is at the scene with the latest. Jack?
Robin, details are sketchy at this hour. We can tell you what we do know. It all began around 5 minutes after 9 this evening in the house across the street behind me. A masked gunman approached the house and shot the man, the owner, a 41-year-old real estate broker. He was shot 3 times, once in the hand, twice in the legs. He was rushed to Evanston Hospital, where hospital officials say he is in fair condition at this hour. Police are looking for a suspect described as 5 foot 8 inches tall, quite possibly a white male, who was wearing either a hat or a bandana during the incident. Now, there was also the man's wife and 2 daughters inside the house at the time of the shooting. They are in good condition. But as you mentioned earlier, this was the same neighborhood where Ricky Birdsong was gunned down over the 4th of July weekend. Neighbors here are in shock. They call this extraordinary and unbelievable. Live in Skokie, I'm Jack Connerty. Robin Walter, back to you.
Jack, thank you. Our other top story of the night, the search for a suspected serial killer riding the rails of America finally appears to be over. The police are saying that Rafael Resendez Ramirez murdered at least 8 people during his reign of terror, including 2 people in southern Illinois. Well, tonight he is behind bars after surrendering to police in Texas. Our Craig Wall joins us now with more on that story.
Walter and Robin, in stark contrast to the violent trail of death he's accused of leaving in 3 states, Rafael Resendez Ramirez gave himself up peacefully today, trading his freedom for a handshake and handcuffs in El Paso, Texas. Nearly 2 years after his alleged killing spree began, Rafael Resendez Ramirez walked into an El Paso courtroom in the custody of Texas authorities, ending a month-long nationwide manhunt.
Mission accomplished for the moment.
Authorities say Resendez Ramirez's sister in Albuquerque, New Mexico, brokered the deal for his surrender after gaining assurances he would get a psychological exam and his family could visit him in jail.
I don't care who takes credit for what. He is captured and in jail, and that's all that matters.
As I said in this prepared statement, I think it was crucial that the sister and the clergy, and there's also a relative in Mexico that has been assisting in this procedure.
Resendez Ramirez was hiding out in Mexico for several days before giving up. He crossed over at this border checkpoint near El Paso. Authorities speculate he may have grown tired of running. But if he had surrendered in his native Mexico, a likely condition for extradition might have spared Resendez Ramirez the death penalty. He is suspected of riding freight trains around the country, killing 1 man in Kentucky, 5 people in Texas, and then on June 15th, an elderly man and his daughter in downstate Gorham, Illinois. All the victims lived near railroad tracks. In court, "No, sir," was all Resendez Ramirez said when the judge asked if he had any questions. He was later transferred to the jail in Houston, where he is expected to stand trial first. Harris County is notoriously tough on those convicted of murder, having executed more people than many states. Now, in addition to the 8 murders, Resendez Ramirez is also suspected in as many as 10 other killings. Tonight, he is still being interviewed by detectives. He'll then be kept in a cell by himself under 24-hour suicide watch with a $125,000 reward on his head. Resendez Ramirez was running not only from law enforcement officers, but from bounty hunters as well. His family will now be eligible to perhaps collect on that reward.
Thank you, Craig. The Chicago police superintendent wants the officers involved in the LaTanya Haggerty killing fired, but some say that is not enough. Today, protesters marched on City Hall. They want the officers to face criminal charges for the June 14th shooting death. Lilia Chacon joins us live outside police headquarters with the details. Lilia.
Robin, those 4 police officers are each facing at least 12 counts of departmental wrongdoing, including failure to obey a direct order. Tonight, those officers are suspended for 30 days without pay, pending a hearing before the police board. But tonight, there are growing demands for a criminal trial. This is the sound of an issue that just won't go away.
Dick Devine has failed to prosecute police officers who've taken an involvement in these crimes. And these are crimes.
Protesters want the state's attorney to file criminal charges against the 4 police officers involved in the shooting death of LaTanya Haggerty. The 26-year-old computer analyst was killed when Gresham officer Serena Daniels thought she saw a gun in Haggerty's hand.
My sister was treated like an animal for no reason. I want to know why was the reason.
This morning, the case took yet another twist when attorneys for the Haggerty family handed out copies of an emergency room report. In it, the Cook County doctor who treated Haggerty refers to her as a 20-year-old female African-American with a single gunshot wound to the chest, a front seat passenger in a drive-by shooting. Police found her in the car.
The doctor wouldn't make it up. It would have to come from someone who has reported it from the scene.
What do you make of that?
I make of that as another clear attempt to cover up the activity of the police officers in this case.
But late this afternoon, the fire department tracked down the paramedics who actually transported Haggerty, and one of them, a 25-year veteran, admitted that he never actually talked to police on the scene. He just saw the blown-out car window and assumed that Haggerty was a drive-by shooting victim. Fire department spokesman Mike Cosgrove calls it, quote, a misperception that went as far as the doctor at the hospital.
This is a tragic mistake. I don't believe the officer did it intentionally.
Intent or not, today the mayor went on the record in support of Hillard's recommendation to fire the officers.
He made a decision on the facts. I did not get into all the facts. He has to make the decisions. I didn't make it. He has to make it.
Have you read the OPS report?
No, I haven't, no. I have not read the report. I fully support the superintendent.
The police board proceedings on these 4 officers could take anywhere from 30 to 60 days. Meanwhile, the investigation into the Robert Rush shooting is still underway. Live here at police headquarters, 11th and State, Lilia Chacon, Fox News, Chicago.
All right, Lilia, thanks for that live report. There are differing opinions tonight on whether Marilyn Lemak is fit to stand trial. She is the suburban woman charged with killing her 3 children last March in Naperville. Today, the state delivered a report claiming Lemak is fit to stand trial, but a doctor working for the defense and another appointed by the court say she is not fit for trial. A hearing will be held next week to try to make a final determination as to her status for trial.
A mother on the west side of Chicago has been charged with 7 counts of misdemeanor child neglect after police found her 7 children living in very dirty conditions. The police were called to a basement apartment after neighbors complained of a smell coming from the place. The authorities found spoiled food, mounds of garbage, and even a dead cat. The woman's neighbors say that she's a good mom.
She's a working mother. She got 7 kids, living on the west side of Chicago, property. I mean, this is as low as you can get as living arrangements.
The children range in age from 2 to 13. They were taken to a hospital where they have been pronounced in good condition and have since been turned over to a relative.
3 people were injured this morning during a wild chase in the western suburbs. 2 men being chased in their car by police slammed into another vehicle at the corner of York and St. Charles Roads. The chase began when the men allegedly tried to steal some items from a store in the Yorktown Mall. None of the injuries is reported as serious. The men have been charged with theft, fleeing from police, and the possession of drug paraphernalia. Chicago police have arrested a man whom they say may have set as many as 50 fires on the northwest side. Most of the fires were set inside dumpsters behind a school in the 4200 block of North Tripp. The man was arrested after police set up a surveillance camera and say they caught him on tape.
Soldier Field may soon be going green as part of a major renovation project. A proposed remodeling plan would replace the current parking lots with underground ones, which would give the city a chance to plant grass and trees and shrubbery around the stadium. The mayor says it would give the area a more natural look.
Talk about environment. If you want a good quality environment, if you put all the concrete and all the asphalt you want in the community dealing with parking, it isn't too nice for a community. It basically is a detriment to the environment, detriment to the community. And that's why you have to look alternative ways.
The stadium proposal being considered would also create more seating along the sidelines and more skyboxes. When asked where fans would tailgate before the games, the mayor simply said, underground.
The 70th Major League Baseball All-Star Game is in the books. You saw it all right here on Fox a little earlier tonight.
And our Corey McFerrin is live outside Fenway Park right now with the highlights and some post-game reaction. Corey.
All right, Walter. How about a good assignment, huh? How about it? I get the good stuff, don't I? It was fun to watch here tonight at Fenway Park. You saw the game, I'm sure. The American League wins it 4-1. Their 9th victory in the last 12 years. The MVP, local hero, makes good. Pedro Martinez, he of the 15-3 record, a guy who was a shot at 30 wins, strikes out 5 batters in the first 2 innings, which ties an all-time American League All-Star mark. 4-1, the American League takes it. Pedro, the MVP. As for our Chicago contingent, well, they came, they played, but that's about it. First of all, there's Maglio Ordonez from the White Sox, his first All-Star game ever. He would go 0 for 1. Sammy 0 for 3 with 2 Ks. As for Pedro, he strikes out Barry Larkin, Larry Walker, Sammy Sosa in the first, followed by Mark McGuire and Jeff Bagwell in the second. The American League scores all the runs they need in the first inning. This is Cal Ripken, the base hit, scoring Manny Ramirez, 2-0. The American League take it. Here we go. Here's the shot by Ripken. And the American League takes a 2-0 lead in the very first inning. That's all they need. They had a couple more. 4-1. The American League wins it here at Fenway Park. But what's interesting about tonight's ball game is that the game itself really was overshadowed to a large extent. I think Pedro's walking behind us. Yes, he is. And the fans here at Fenway Park, a few thousand remaining to cheer on their hero. What really happened, though, the pregame ceremonies overshadowed The game itself, just a tremendous pregame atmosphere here, highlighted by the introduction of baseball's all-century team, an amazingly star-studded entourage, guys like Hank Aaron, Stan Musial, Willie Mays. There's Ernie Banks, who I had a chance to talk to right after the ceremony. Ernie, put it into words. What did that mean to you out there to be a part of this ceremony?
Oh, it's exciting, a lot of love, a lot of fun, and a lot of great memories, and I'm so happy to be a part of it.
Way to go, Ernie. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
But the real moment for everybody here in this building and across North America watching this game, Ted Williams talking to the players. He was in the middle of the field, about set to throw the first ball, and suddenly all the players came forth. You saw Mark McGuire a moment ago speaking to Ted. A lot of players had a chance to come up and have a few words with Ted Williams right before the ceremonial first pitch, and the players really couldn't get enough of the splendid Splinter.
When you have a chance to meet probably one of the best hitters of the game, and you see tears running down his eyes for the appreciation that the fans and all of us gave him. It's quite a special time. And
I thought it was really nice the way everybody just kind of surrounded him, and it was kind of funny when they announced, can people please go to their dugout? Everybody said no. Nobody wanted to leave. This is it didn't matter. It was like, what time's the first pitch? Who cares? This is a time where we can all enjoy it.
That's exactly what happened. An announcement came over the PA. Players, please return to your dugouts. Legends, please get off the field. And they turned around and said, no, we like this. This is the best part of our whole experience here. Again, the American League has won it 4-1. Coming up later in sports, Sammy Sosa with an early departure from Fenway Park. We'll tell you about that and his struggles at the plate of late a little bit later on. Right now, back to the studio, Walter and Robin.
All right, Corey, thank you very much. And guess what we had here today? All-star weather. We really did. It was perfect. The American League must be in charge of our weather, right, with the winners here in Chicago. Steve Schill joins us with a first look at what we can expect. Let's not say tonight. It's already, 11:20. Tomorrow morning?
Tomorrow morning when folks walk out the door. I'll have your late night update coming up very shortly. Let's talk a little bit about tonight's weather and the overnight weather. We did have a few clouds out there today, not much in the way of cloud cover, and some of the cloud cover that you see there produced some rain up north in Wisconsin, a few thunderstorms. Tonight here locally, a few clouds. Tonight overnight, we should say, light southerly winds, and those southerly winds tomorrow will bring up some real heat. It gets warmer tomorrow. Tonight, though, lows between 60 and 65 degrees, so enjoy this last bit of comfortable weather because the heat is about to return. I'll tell you all about it coming up in just a little while. Walter, Robin?
Also coming up, Steve, will be a story about a 6-year-old boy taking an unbelievable joyride.
Then, no joy on this ride as the Bourbon Pace bus makes an unexpected stop in a swamp.
And for the first time ever, a company is charged with murder in connection with an airline crash.
Also, a woman finds a hidden camera in her shower. Now her landlord is in big trouble.
I'm Cameron Hall. When you lock your door at home, you assume everything is safe and secure, but are you really leaving the door open for a burglar? Coming up in the bottom line, we'll have some tips on how you can protect your home without spending a bundle.
Kind of my own boss, I have a pretty set pattern that I like to travel every time, Got there across the lake, zigzag between the flags and stuff. It's brutal out there. Well, they don't pay us very well, but, I made enough to get my Saturn. Oh, gets hit quite a bit. I got those dent-resistant panels, so mine's looking brand new still.
Behind his millions. You're not going to say, I couldn't possibly. Beyond his public image.
Mr. Thomas Crown
is a man with an ingenious sense
How big of a thief are you?
of fun. On August 6th,
You did it.
Him? A big day for this guy. He's taking off his tie.
get in touch with your dangerous side.
Oh, yes.
Where's he right now?
And whose head are you after?
Yours.
The Thomas Crown Affair. Rated R. Friday, August 6th, only in theaters.
He took more than just a tenant's rent. Why a landlord's hidden secret has landed him in big trouble when Fox News returns.
There's a wood they call mesquite, and it's giving Wendy's newest hamburger a big, bold taste. Introducing our new mesquite bacon cheeseburger. We took a slice of smoky mesquite cheddar and 3 full strips of hickory smoked bacon, put them on top of a big 1/4 pound of hot and juicy beef right off the grill, and covered it all with a delicious mesquite sauce for rich, smoky taste in every bite. the Mesquite Bacon Cheeseburger, a big, bold taste you'll only find at Wendy's.
Come and get it.
Hey, Homer. Homer. I come here, about once a month. But this one, he's here once a week.
Hey, Glenda, look at here. You never go directly to what you want. You've got to roam around. Just what I've been looking for. Every now and then you find things you just are total surprise. Holy smokes. But every time we come in the door, she'll see something.
Look, insulated.
In fact, this morning,
Oh, my goodness.
she immediately found something she couldn't live without.
I have a good eye.
Well, she does have a good eye. She got me.
Quite a ride for some passengers on a Pace bus near O'Hare this morning. The bus went down an embankment as it rounded a curve and landed in a swampy area. 16 people were on board. 2 of them suffered minor injuries. Pace says it's now waiting for the results of drug and alcohol tests on the driver. A company is facing murder charges tonight in connection with the ValueJet plane crash in Florida. A DC-9 plunged into the Everglades in 1996, killing all 110 people on board. Today, prosecutors in Florida filed murder and manslaughter charges against SaberTech, a maintenance contractor for ValueJet. SaberTech is accused of improperly packaging oxygen canisters, which caught fire and are blamed for causing the crash.
This was not an accident. This was a crime. It was a homicide. SaberTech is the party ultimately criminally culpable and responsible for the deaths of these 110 human beings.
No one, and I underline no one, intended or could have foreseen these tragic consequences.
If convicted, SaberTech could face fines that could then be paid to the families of the victims. Also today, a grand jury indicted the company and 3 employees for keeping false maintenance records.
A longtime teacher at Bensonville High School has been charged with using a hidden camera to spy on a female tenant. The camera was discovered in the bathroom of an apartment building owned by the teacher. As Dane Placco reports, it's an instance that shows how new technology is making it easier than ever for would-be peeping Toms.
The 33-year-old woman who lives on the first floor of this Skokie apartment building noticed a tiny red light behind the ceiling vent above her bathroom shower. Remembering that the owner of the building, 55-year-old Michael J. Schufert of Richmond, had recently done work on the bathroom, she became suspicious and called Skokie police, who almost immediately found a tiny video camera behind the vent.
They looked a little closer and they discovered that it had leads and cables that led them to the utility room. When they went in the utility room, they discovered it was hooked up to a VCR and TV monitor.
Schufert, a biology teacher for 30 years at Fenton High School in Bensonville, has now been charged with 1 count of unlawful videotaping, which is a misdemeanor.
When the camera's an inch big and the lens is a 1/16 of an inch pinhole, that can be anywhere.
At the Spy Shop in downtown Chicago, they sell tiny cameras hidden in radios, smoke detectors, and clocks. Most people buy them for security purposes. But the shop's owner admits, with the high technology now selling for low prices,
There's always potential for abuse, unfortunately. And recently in the news, we've been hearing about such stories. It's very easy.
the Cook County State's Attorney's Office says, although it's just a misdemeanor, they do plan to vigorously prosecute this case. And they say they'd like to see the state legislature put some tougher teeth into video privacy laws.
You have to, over time, make the law catch up with what new machines and toys are out there for people who would misuse them.
Benjamin says video voyeurism should be upgraded to a felony. Dane Placco, Fox News, Chicago.
Time now for a break, and coming up, a promising new weapon against the flu.
Then some good news about 5 teenagers who fell into comas after being given a date rape drug.
And an update on what happened to those emergency medical supplies dropped by parachute to a worker at the South Pole.
Also, cancer can be physically devastating, but women in Chicago learned that the disease does not have to rob them of their self-esteem.
Very few athletes that have maintained this lifelong commitment to be the best. And even fewer companies.
Here's my idea.
idea. Make our girls the Best Buy girls. Because they're growing up on Best Buy. With the new baby, it's great because Michael can take the photos and he can email them to our friends and our relatives and they can see her right there. Mika feels a sense of accomplishment that she knows letters and numbers.
You think you can do that, Mika?
It's just a lot of fun to watch them grow up with all this technology. Best Buy has been a part of their lives right from the beginning.
It's one blessed beef. While you may someday find this cow art in heaven. Coming up on Fox News.
She sounded fine at first, but then her voice just wasn't right.
Was she using a cellular phone?
She and her friends got mixed up in this. They signed a contract. They're just kids.
Here, it's Sprint PCS. They built the only all-digital, all-PCS nationwide network, so she'll be heard loud and clear.
Thank you.
It happens, but it's gonna end.
It's about summer and driving down the road, but most of all, it's about you. About getting you into your choice of an award-winning Chrysler or Plymouth car or minivan. About the best ways for you to buy now. Get any Chrysler Plymouth minivan with $1,000 cash allowance or low 1.9 APR. The Chrysler and Plymouth Summer Clearance. It's all about you. See your Chrysler Plymouth dealer today.
In Michigan, 5 teenagers who fell into comas after ingesting a drink laced with a date rape drug are awake tonight. They suffered convulsions and passed out after sharing a drink laced with GHB. That's a depressant that can cause serious health problems and even death if taken in large amounts. The teens are expected to recover, and the police are now questioning a man who allegedly gave them the drugs.
We have an update on that medical mission to the South Pole where an American researcher discovered a lump in her breast. An Air Force jet had to deliver the drugs and medical equipment to her by parachute in a risky flight over the weekend. Because of severe cold and total darkness, travel to and from the South Pole is almost impossible this time of year. The drugs arrived intact, but an ultrasound scanner was destroyed during the airdrop. There are unconfirmed reports that the woman also is the doctor at the South Pole station.
Here's some good news tonight. Fighting the flu may soon be as simple as using a nasal spray.
That story tops tonight's Healthline report. A study in the Journal of the American Medical Association finds that an experimental spray called Flu Mist effectively prevents the flu in healthy adults. The company that makes the spray said there's a good reason to spray the medication rather than injecting it.
The reason that Flu Mist is given by nasal spray is because influenza is an airborne virus, and the first place your body encounters influenza is in the moist tissues at the back of the nose and throat.
Previous research showed that Flu Mist does work in children. It has yet to be approved by the Food and Drug Administration, but researchers do expect it to be on the market as early as next year.
A risky operation at Johns Hopkins Medical Center in Baltimore, where doctors removed half the brain of a